Okay, first practice, I like the, like most would, right? I like the energy, the enthusiasm on day one. If every practice could be day one, it'd be awesome. So, a good day. I liked our tempo. I liked our teaching. I thought that was, I'm listening for good communication. I'm listening for guys that, are really locked in with an attention to detail and really focused. And I thought that, by and large, a lot of those things came to fruition today. To point out anything in particular after day one would be, a little bit foolish on my part. But I thought overall, generally speaking, really liked the management of our defense and how it's being taught in all aspects, and really loved the tempo that we were able to run at offensively today. And you didn't have the typical sloppiness of the ball on the ground and guys not, executing at a high level. So pleased with that, from a first day. So questions, what do you got for me?
Brian, with so many new assistant coaches, I'm just curious what you noticed in terms of watching the way they do what they do.
Well, today for me was getting a sense and feel for, you lay down what your expectations are and what you want your coaches to really focus on. Look, we vetted all of these coaches out in the process, and I wanted great communicators, great teachers, guys that are very positive, and I was able to get around and see all of the position groups, and was really pleased with the way that they interacted with the players and communicated effectively with them. There was no, I felt there was no, lack of communication in an effective manner. So I was, obviously it was a good day for me to get a sense of how our coaches are teaching and communicating with our players.
Brian, the rover position is new for you.
Yes.
I'm wondering how you anticipate maybe that playing out. Asmar, we saw a little bit today.
Yeah, Asmar was there today. I really think it's going to be a week-to-week kind of matchup situation. You're going to look at the teams that could stress that position with a slot receiver versus, a tight end. We play some power run teams in the first month of the season. We think Asmar is a guy that, physically can run with most, detached or tight ends or backs coming out in the role that we're going to ask that rover to match up a two. We're not going to ask him to run vertically and play corner routes. So we think he's a physical guy at the point of attack, a guy that is agile enough to play in space, but yet not put him in a position where we'd have to, play more of a safety at that position right now.
And by Drew not being there today, does that kind of rule him out?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. I think what you'll find at the rover position, that there'll be some versatility based upon the opponent.
Brian, what are you looking for early portion of spring from, I guess, the communication with Winbush and the wide receivers and just trying to get chemistry between them?
I think in the first day we were really looking at tempo on our offense, and I think we achieved that. We wanted to go fast and be sloppy is certainly not the end, but to be able to run a little bit more tempo with our offense and be effective in execution was really the most important thing. There is a relationship built already with these guys. Brendan, obviously has been with them for the last couple of years, so we're not starting from scratch. But there are the nuances of the position that they're going to have to work out. I thought that I thought in particular, there's already a pretty good sense of, you know, relationship, if you will, between the receivers and Brandon. And I think we saw that today, at least I did.
I know first, second, and third units are irrelevant right now, but just Jefferson's presence on the third unit just caught my attention because he was a starter that was running off the third unit.
Yeah, we're just, right now, we're moving positions around. You saw CJ out at X, right? You saw, you know, some guys, we actually have some tight ends that could possibly play at different positions. You saw Chase in at Z. It's really too early to read into first, second, and third because we're moving some guys around, and we don't want to put Kevin into a position where he's got to learn a couple of different positions. So it's by virtue of moving other guys to that X position and giving them reps that Kevin already knows the X position. So it's not that he's the third as much as we're trying to get other guys some work over there. Yeah, yeah.
Brian, what's your understanding with the legislation with the 10th assistant? And if that doesn't pass, what exactly is in store for Tommy to see?
Well, Tommy is designated as a graduate assistant right now, and if it didn't pass, he would stay in that role.
Would that be everything but recruiting, more or less? Or
Yeah, and certainly he can't go off campus, but he can be on campus in a recruiting role, and so phone calls, you know, things of that nature on campus can be in that role. So Chip and I would obviously pick up that role if in fact the 10th coach is not accepted. I think a lot of people feel as though it's going to pass. We do things with a mind and an eye towards things working in this direction, like that it would pass. But we're prepared to continue on and move forward if it doesn't, one way or the other.
Do you think it'll happen in April or December or whenever?
You know, I think when we go to predicting the NCAA membership and voting, I think we got a better chance of winning the lottery. It seems as though the appetite is there from everything that I've gotten from Jill Bodensteiner, who really's got her ear to the ground relative to the NCAA legislation, the membership. So we're taking our cues off of what we're getting, and we're confident that something's going to happen because they're packaged with, it is packaged with early signing. And that seems to be the one piece that has a pretty strong foothold. And so if that passes, this one is essentially a rider to that. So we feel pretty confident.
Brian, McGlinchey is a guy that could have been at the combine last
Yeah.
week and performing well and picked pretty high.
Yeah.
He made the decision to come back. What have you seen from him in terms of investing in this fifth year, and what do you expect to see as we kind of go through the process with him?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, he came back with a want and a desire to improve in the weight room, and so there was a commitment that we needed to make to him that we were going to get it to the end for him. In other words, bigger, faster, stronger. And I don't know if you've seen him, but he's gone up almost 8 to 10 pounds with good weight. He's gone from 16 to 24 in terms of 225 bench reps. He's made significant gains in the weight room. So we owed him something on our end as well, and that is to physically develop him, to mentally develop him as a captain and as a leader, and then to develop his skill. We moved him over to left tackle, and there was an adjustment period for him there. And so, obviously, Harry's work with him is crucial as well. So, this was kind of a deal, right? You come back, you finish off at Notre Dame, you help us win a championship, and we're going to help develop you physically. We're going to help you in your leadership skills, and we're going to help you, obviously, on the field with your skills, so that translate next year as you help Notre Dame football. It's also going to help you individually.
Outside of physical abilities, what's one specific thing you're looking for Brandon to show you from now until the end of spring ball?
Physical?
Outside of physical.
Oh, outside, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know, being the quarterback at Notre Dame, you know, there's so many things that you have to be able to balance outside of just being, you know, a really good student. It's you folks, it's alumni, it's the pressures of playing it, so the position itself. So just coming every day and believing in yourself and having the confidence to play the position, being aware of where you are every day as the quarterback at Notre Dame, and balancing all those things. So, you know, that's really the biggest focus for me and Tommy and Chip on a day-to-day basis, and is making sure that he's handling all of the other things that come with being the quarterback at Notre Dame.
How much do you think having Tommy around will help him and all of your quarterbacks moving forward with things of that nature? I mean, coaches may know how to coach the position, but he's the only one that knows how to be the quarterback in Notre Dame.
You know, that's a big reason why I think he's a great hire. I think at this time, at this place, knows Notre Dame's been in it, knows he played as a freshman. You know, he can relate to the young quarterbacks that are under his tutelage. I just, you know, could we have found a quarterback with a deeper resume? Yeah, but they would not have understood Notre Dame. They would not have understood playing as a freshman. They would not have had all of the intangibles that Tommy has that he can bring to this position, and the knowledge of who I am and as a coach, and what my expectations are, and the offense. And so just think he's a great fit for us.
What's the next step for Niles Morgan after taking a big step last season?
You know, I think what he's working on right now is his intent and impact on the team. In other words, you know, he's an emotional leader, and we really want to fine-tune you know, how he impacts the other people around him. Through his leadership, I think we can continue to grow as a defense. So, you know, he impacts the other 10 players around him. He leads by, you know, sometimes his emotions, and we want that to be more balanced on a day-to-day basis. And I think he's doing a great job of holding players accountable, communicating with them effectively, and I think that's just been a great maturation process for him over the last few months.
Coach, you look at the strong side position, obviously, so what are the differences in that position, the strong side end position, to compare to what you guys asked from that position the last few years?
Well, there'll be some similarities to it, right? It's, you know, more of an anchor end position versus obviously the drop position, where you have some flexibility to put him in coverage and do some things like that. So he's going to be, you know, a guy that has got to hold the point. He's going to be more physical at the point of attack. You're going to see more of a hybrid on the other side, a guy that can do a little bit more in space. And it fits some of the personnel that we have. So this is, you know, a guy that's bigger in terms of size, and a stronger, you know, run fit guy at the point of attack.
Now, is that a position that you can see? Obviously, Jay Hayes has that kind
Yes.
of size. Khalid Kareem has that kind of
Yes.
potential. Is that a position you can see now that he's going into senior year, Andrew Trumbetti kind of fitting into that role?
We do. Now he's up to 255. We think he's in a stronger position to handle the rigors of the position, in particular that strong side. You know, when he wasn't holding his weight in the manner that he needed to, there would have been more of a concern. But we feel really good about where he is right now.
And with that three technique position, is that going to be kind of like what it was in the past, where sometimes you're over the guard, sometimes you're over the tackle, from a pre-snap alignment, or is that going to be more what you guys are doing kind of post-snap with some of the movement?
It'll vary. I mean, it's not always going to be a true free technique. You'll see him move around a little bit. So, you know, Bonner would be a guy that you're looking at the 3. You know, Mike could do a bigger guy that can hold if you move him to a 4. He's got to be able to hold that shade position. You know, maybe see Jerry at more of a 1 technique. So, and that's a fluid situation, but in terms of the body types, those are the guys we're looking at.
Oh, Jay Hayes there, is that a position, I mean, do you see any cross training for him, or are you guys really trying to work on getting him comfortable on the edge?
I'd like to see him on the edge.
Brian, as you bounced all around practice today and weren't quite so offensive centric, I'm just curious how that went for you and what maybe you were able to do today that in the past you haven't been able to do at practice.
Well, I had different priorities, right? So, you know, normally my priorities are to make sure that the offense is, you know, running the installation effectively, that we're doing the things necessary that, you know, makes that offense run the way it's supposed to. That's not my priority right now. My priority is to make sure that our coaches are emphasizing the things that I want. Today was about evaluating, you know, the personnel and where they are. So it was much more a different priority for me than it has been in the past.
Brian, Elliott's left and Jeff Burris, I believe. How have you kind of filled out the last few spots on your staff?
We've hired. Let's see, 2 new analysts. We can get you all their bio information for those 2 positions. Yeah.
Brian, is Craig Hudson still with the program?
He isn't right now, no.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you.